Professor Lucas, where do you see this conflict going? Do you believe it's going to be extremely protracted at this stage? Kiev stands, Lviv, where I am, has thus far, and hopefully it isn't touched, it has not been touched thus far. There is fighting still very extensive in Kharkiv and other areas as well. The Ukrainian resistance is strong. This being the case, do you see this being a protracted conflict?
Yes. I mean, the immediate steps in the conflict are up to Vladimir Putin. The Russians effectively lied about the humanitarian corridors in the south. Only a few hundred people got out today before the shelling started. So as I've seen in Syria for years, the Russian tactics have been to say, okay, we will have humanitarian corridors and then simply shell people and continue the attacks. The problem for Putin is, well, it's twofold. First is that his attempt to topple the government of Ukraine by detaining or assassinating leaders collapsed within 48 hours last week because Russian ground troops could not get into Kiev and other big cities. And they still can't get in there because the second problem for Putin is that the Russian army is running into a lot more problems than we expected. It has problems of supply, problems of logistics, a lack of fuel. It's relying on conscripts in a lot of areas. So right. If Putin cannot rely on ground troops, his option, and this is what we're fearing, his option is to go with the aerial attacks. Because as bad as the attacks have been so far, they could be far worse if he unleashes his most advanced warplanes and his most advanced missiles. So we have to keep fingers crossed that somehow he will back off from that, even as he appears to be getting a bit desperate given Russia's economic situation.